Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Pauline and you might know me already for harp and cards. I just wanted to start making some YouTube videos and I thought that this year was going to be the year that I would gather up my courage and start putting my face out there, my face, my cards and my harp as well. So I hope I will be able to provide so much more content that will be related to my greatest passions, which are of course tarot cards, oracle cards and harp playing. You probably might know something about my project which puts all these things together, but I think we'll have time to talk about that in another video. This one is just one opportunity that I thought I would catch on, which is the 31 Days of Tarot challenge by wonderful Ethany. And it's an event that I have been following on YouTube for 1 year at least. I saw some older videos 2 years ago, and it's always a great opportunity. It's always a great chance to see the faces behind some of the accounts that I follow on Instagram, for instance, and to get to know better other YouTubers, other card lovers, and to enrich my knowledge of the cards and of a card related experience, because we all have different ways to relate to tarot. So I always thought that this was a great moment of the year, and why not, since this year I put in my goals to do this series, to add some content to this channel. I thought, why not? And so here I am. I'm of course a bit late. This is not going to change probably throughout the rest of the month and of the year, but I'm here, so you can hold me out to it and let's get this challenge started for me as well. So the first day, the question was related to the energy, the intention of this year. Today is, for me, as I'm recording the video, the first day that I actually get back to work. So after the quite long, not long enough, Christmas break, 2 weeks, I had 2 weeks off from the harp shop and no phone. So total detox from many of the things that I normally love, but that are a bit present in my life, to say the least. So I took this time off, and today is the first day that I get the energy going and I'm finally able to experiment, to integrate what I have been thinking about, what I have been planning, what I've been envisioning for this year that just started. So this could be a good moment to state the intention again. I've been trying to keep it in mind for the past days, since I have focused on my New Year ahead spread and I wrote down my intentions, and maybe I'll show you also my planners to see how this all was done in trying to focus on my intention and my manifesting. But now it's the time to really apply it in my day-to-day schedule and my everyday life. So it's a good thing that I get to remind myself of what these cards were. So from numerological point of view, I have 2 cards because, well, I added up the normal kind of figures that you do for numerological card of the year, which is my date of birth, the day and the month, plus 2018, and that of course gave result to 2 cards. One is the Devil and one is Lovers. Devil is 15 and Lovers is number 6. I'm looking down because I've got my notes here and I'm terrible with numbers. So I did this experiment with numerological card of the year, and these are the results. And I must say that I really feel them. Last year it was all about the year 2017 being the year of the Magician. This year I feel that we're not talking as much as we did last year about the general energy. I mean, I haven't heard so much conversations about that, but it seems like we're more focused on what this year is going to be like for each and every one of us. And it's okay. I think it's good for me. This energy, the Devil is a quite complicated card, and the Lovers is of course a very beautiful card, but it's complicated as well. And I think they go together very well. I heard that when you have a double card, 2 numbers, so that you can add up like 1 and 5, that makes 6, and you keep them both. One is the exterior manifestation and one is in the interior manifestation. I totally like this point of view, and I also like to think about these 2 cards as 2 aspects of the same thing, which they can be. It all depends on what I am going to do, which path I'm going to choose, one way or the other. So maybe we'll get there. And so these 2 cards, well, I got my Ostara tarot deck, so I can show them to you. The Devil. I hope I can focus. Yeah, there you go. This is a beautiful representation of the Devil. It's not as scary as many others are, but I think it grants the meaning still that we are used to, although in quite a different way. So the Devil card for me this year will be all about understanding what can make me whole, what can free me from well, bad habits, bad choices, which of course are not bad choices in general, are just the choices that are keeping me down. So my fears, everything that is limiting and that I am basically imposing on myself. So it's trying to be more free, more authentic also. And here is where also the Lovers card, look how beautiful this is. I love the idea that these lovers are dancing, and I think they're dancing a tango. It just suits them so well, and they are blindfolded. So how many messages in there. And these lovers are just trusting. They could open their eyes because this blindfold is not as, you know, covering, and of course it's some kind of choice, but it's the choice to look inwards. I don't remember if I read it or if I heard someone talk about it. I probably read it. Maybe it was in Kitchen Table Tarot, which is a great book, which I've been loving lately during the holiday season. I've been reading that, very light, but still very insightful. And I'm not sure it came from there, I'll check that up. It talked about the lovers in the way that does not only relate to a romantic relationship, but of course it's easier to understand when you think about that as an example of the feeling that it gets you, that it moves inside you, and it's that feeling that you see something and you can barely restrain yourself from holding up your fingers and touching it. You really have to make contact with that thing. You feel like a magnetic, do you say that? Something magnetic pulling you to that person, to that thing. It's like your entire focus suddenly is directed to that object of desire. And that is a feeling that I do not only associate with love, romantic love, of course I do, that's an excellent example and it stirs up really nice memories, but it's also a way that I love to feel about certain things in my life. It's like that higher vibration, that energy that really moves you, that drives you toward a goal. And I think this is just a great card to have in my future, because being true to myself, so the Devil card, and breaking free of the limitations also means going towards something. So choosing my goals and my desire and my passions wisely, which doesn't mean with my head, but trusting that inner knowledge. So with that blindfold on my eyes, I can still feel that pull, that drive. And I think this will be one of the themes for sure of my year ahead. So good numerological card. Apart from that, I also have, of course, not only one card, because how could one stop to that? Not only two. But I also, well, I made my own year ahead spread, which was huge and really colorful, and I used the Margarete Peterson deck and the Color Gypsy and the Sacred Creators Oracle for each month. And then I finally draw one card for the year ahead general energy, and one card from these 3 decks to represent the year that's coming. So, and the card that I draw in that case, it's a weird one because I'm not sure about that. Last year I had the King of Swords, which was really easy to understand, and it played out quite well. It was quite correspondent to what really happened in my life. And this year it's swords again, and it's the 7 of Swords. See, this is the Ostara again, which is super cute. It's not as creepy as some 7 of Swords. I'm sorry, I'm trying to focus. Oh, there you go. Because you have this raccoon, so it's... The raccoon is a bit of a bandit, isn't it? Is he not? He's a rascal, but I like him. So 7 of Swords, and I think about this in my life, and it still relates to the devil lover theme. I think it has a lot of meaning. This is one of the cards that when it comes out in a reading for myself or for our clients, I'm always a bit doubtful because it's not so clear in my mind. I know it means deceived, it might mean some secrets, or I don't know. I know the Rider-Waite's meaning associated with this card, but it always leaves me thinking like there is more. And so I think this year will be a good chance to understand what the 7 of Swords really means to me. And for now, I see it, as I was saying, so related to the devil and the deciding, well, consciously and intuitively deciding what my truth is, who I really am, and speaking my truth, which is another theme that is coming up in these days very powerfully, I think, not only for me. And yes, so deciding which secrets I'm supposed to keep and what am I supposed to share and show of myself, and maybe realizing that some things that I'm trying to keep to myself because I don't feel okay with, maybe those things I can leave behind. Trying to make some kind of clean slate, of course, not forgetting about the past, but learning from it and just moving on, deciding what is not helpful, what I don't want to bring with me, you know, those little things that make you feel ashamed, bringing them to light, which might mean leaving them behind or even making them a part of my everyday life. So this kind of decision, and I think this might be an interesting road ahead. So we'll see how that goes. And also, I, apart from my own year ahead spread during the holidays when I had more time, I also tried out the tarot spread, the year ahead spread, which was included in the Billy Tarot planner. This is a new one for me, so I'm trying to see how it goes. And for now, I quite like it, I must say. It's a bit, it's not really a planner, but I think it will be very useful to track all my tarot activity. And so this was the New Year spread in there. Of course, I wrote it out, and inside the positions there were two cards which I think can connect to this position of the challenge, and they were aspirations. Let me find it. Aspirations for the next 12 months, and also overall where you're headed in the next 12 months. So for today's entry of the challenge, I think I will stick with my aspirations for the year, because it was actually, I thought the answers on that spread were really nice. and very helpful, insightful. So everything worked out perfectly. And so I decided to keep this card as well as aspiration for the next year, and it's the 8 of Pentacles. Still, I chose the Ostara Tarot, although it was not the deck that I used for the spread, which was, I think, the Star Child. But, well, 8 of Pentacles as aspirations, I think it's a super nice card, especially in relationship with my business, with developing new skills. And of course, this has been a really long road that led me here, but I'm still at the beginning of so many things, and I feel that now I have a clearer idea of where I want to go, of what kind of strength and ability and craftsmanship I want to develop. So this is the perfect card for me as aspirations in this year to come. So it's, I want to take care of my learning, of what I can develop in order to give. So make myself better in order to give better service, maybe also, but also be more satisfied about myself. So it all comes down to finding some kind of truth and finding it with the heart, finding it through my passion, finding it through that pull, that magnetic drive. So I think this more or less sums up the year ahead readings that I made. So this is the energy, this is the major lessons that I think I'm going to look forward to in this 2018. Last year was quite a tough one, but it taught me really a lot, and I think that this is a good point to be. It's a nice place to be, and I can't wait to see where this road takes me. So this, for instance, was a little bit of a new thing for me, a new start, so please bear with me if my English was so terrible and if I didn't speak very well or if I look weird, so please be patient. I just thought, and this is another theme that I've been choosing for this year, consciously choosing it through all the messages and the lessons that I've been learning in the past few months, is that I really want to do things and I don't want to let perfection get in the way of action. That's my motto for this year. I really want to do things as I can, harvesting the momentum, because I think that it's so many times it's much better doing something in an imperfect way than not doing it at all. So I thought, this is the chance, I'll just take it and I will get better. I promise I will get better in the next videos. So I thank you very much for being patient with me and for your support. And I'll see you in the next days with the following entries for 31 Days of Tarot. Thank you very much, from my heart to yours. Bye.